everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am doing my very late update to my Pando's eyeshadows project pan. This is my favorite project pan. It was created by Alexi. She's not uploading on YouTube anymore, but I have her information down below. But it's just a project pan where you randomly generate eyeshadows from your collection and you work on them with the goal to hit pan or a specific usage goal. But before we jump into my update, if you're new here, hello, my name is Helena and I love to do project panning content. I love to use the makeup that I already own, and I own a shit ton of makeup. Let's just leave it at that. I also do love to test new makeup, which, if you're interested in this look, I have been playing around with the new, or not new anymore, but the first time for me, playing around with the Lethal Cosmetics Wildflower palette. I know that my blush is not matching my eye look because I did order the yellow blush, but it's not really, you know, pairing perfectly with this purple pink iridescent thing going on in my eyelids. But it is what it is. Love this collection. I will post it. I did film it, so it will end up on my channel eventually. You should check it out when it does. But yeah, let's get into my update. So for this project pan, my rules, everyone kind of have their own rules, but my rules are that I have 6 eyeshadow shades that I'm working on. 5 are randomly generated and 1 is handpicked. And this is the color story that I've been working on. It kind of, like, what am I even doing? It's just very, very tilted, but this is the color story. Quite cohesive, I would say. It's been, yeah, I think I've been working on this for like a month and a half. So if the usage if it sounds crazy, how many times I've used things, that's, you know, keep that in mind. But it's been very easy to incorporate. I have been playing around a lot with the shades. And we have a super great update coming up for you. So let's just jump into the shade up here, which is the gray one. This comes from my Unearthly Cosmetics So Strange palette, and it's the shade Sandworm. Last time I didn't have that many times left, and I had a very good dip going. And I said that if I reach 25 uses, which is my 20 uses is my usage goal. If I reach that goal and haven't hit pan, I'm going to roll it out, just because it's a gray and we're in spring summer, so I don't want to work on a gray. Yes, I have used it now 20 times. I think I've used it 21, 22 times because I had looks where I like, oh, let's just put it in. But no pan. So this is what it's looking like. Very, like, it's been working so well with these shades, that, like the blues, super great. But yeah, I'm gonna put it away. Love this palette. It's a very cute, fun palette to play around with. This shade is just so freaking stinking beautiful. But yeah, this one is going to roll out, no pan, alas, but it is what it is. If you hear anything, that's my dog being a derp. And the next shade, this metallic blue, turquoise shade, comes from my Juvias Place the Zulu palette. This is it's a very old palette in my collection, but I mean, look at the pigment. It's still bringing it to the yard. Let's just say it like that. I have used Zulu, I don't know how many times. I always forget to mark how many times I've used it, like the last update and now. But today I had a good pan, a good dip in the last update, and now I've used it 15 times, and I was able to hit pan. Ta-da! So this palette now has 2 pans, this one and this one. So that is what it's looking like. So it's very focused, but I don't have an issue panning Juvias Placed Metallics. I haven't tried panning a matte. I guess it's more difficult because they are so pigmented, but yeah, I'm happy to have pan in that one, and that one is also rolling out. Told you it was a good update. Then we have this like topper shade, which is like a pink blue iridescent shade here. And that one comes from, this is my hand-picked shade, and it's from my Nomad Cosmetics Tokyo Harajuku palette. I handpicked this because it's a pastel palette, and when is the best time to work with pastels? During spring. So I just wanted to get more use out of it, and I went for a very easy shade. I've been using this on my inner corner a ton, but I've been also topping it a shit ton, like using that blue on the majority of the lid and just like topping that one to kind of give it a gradient for the inner corner. I did have a good dip going last time. I have used this shade 22 times, so more than my like minimum of 20, but I was determined to hit pan, and yeah, I was able to hit pan. This is the shade. So it's been so fun to have this palette out. It's a really cute one. I've been using a lot of the shades in this, especially this one has been great to blend it out, to blend the grey one out and so on. Yeah, it's been really fun to have it out and play with a bit more. So I'm super happy to have pan in that one, and that's the third shade, if you're counting, rolling out. Then we have this dark purple shade, and that one is from my Pink Crush Cosmetics Lucid Dreams palette. I tested Pink Crush Cosmetics in a video, and I really enjoyed the brand. This palette in particular is very like up my alley. And the shade is called Utopia, so I think I enrolled this last time. I have used Utopia 17 times. Most of the times I've been using it like a liner. I've been also packing it on the outer corner, but I've been using it to have like a dark purple liner, which has been quite cool. And this is what we're looking like today. So you can see that shiny pan in there, which is so exciting, and it's been so fun to play around with this more. I've been especially dipping into this one and this blue one quite a lot. Yeah, it's been very fun to have it out. When I have Pando's eyeshadows, I aim to have no pan left behind, so even though I'm focusing in on Utopia, I have used all of the shades in this palette. Some more than once, but I always want to strive to use all of the shades in the palette, so it's not just focusing in solely on one shade, but to get use out of the entire palette. So yeah, Utopia is rolling out. That's 4 out of 4. And then we have this cream shade, which is basically my skin color. And that's from my Lurella What's the Tea palette. It's a neutral palette, not maybe what I tend to use, but it's a cream shade. I've been using it to set the upper part of my lid. It's been working out well. I've also used it in combination with this blue here that we'll talk about later, to make it a bit more pastel, even more pastel than it already is. And yeah, I've been using Chat Tea, which is the shade name. I've used that 15 times, and this is what Chat Tea is looking like. I mean, it's washing out so much, but you can see that pan there. Yep. So, wasn't an issue at all to reach for this one. It's a gimme shade, so to speak. Very easy to use, and yeah, I wasn't surprised that I hit pan in this update. Finally, we have this blue shade down here, which is a matte light blue. Quite similar to the Zulu, but it's matte, and this one is obviously a metallic. And that one comes from my Made by Mitchell, this huge ass palette. This is the, what do you call, like Head in the Clouds, blah 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 palette. Head in the Clouds palette, says on the side there. And yeah, the shade I enrolled was Bora Blue, which was basically untouched, rolling it in. And I have used Bora Blue a whopping 24 times. Basically every single time I've done my eyeshadow, not today. But what I've been doing is pairing Bora Blue with that cream shade. To make it more pastel, and I've been using a matte inner corner almost every single time I've done my eyeshadow. I've been rocking a pastel blue matte inner corner, and I've been really enjoying it. This is what we're looking like. So this is Bora Blue, and I have a fat dip, but I don't have a pan, and I am determined to hit pan. I have been loving just having this out and playing around. You can see that many of the shades look actually quite used now, especially the shimmers. I've used all of the shades in this palette since I brought it in. It's been so much fun. And yeah, now I'm basically using these two. I'm using Bora Blue and this white to make it more pastel as the inner corner shade. I've been using Bora Blue to make a liner. I've been using it the other day. I used it all over the lid with just a shimmer, like smack in the middle. I've been using it a shit ton and still no pan. But I mean, it was basically untouched, and it is a matte. But I am, even though I reached 20 uses, I am determined to keep it in the project because I want to hit pan. I want to hit pan on that shade. I feel like it's so close. So close. So, my friends, that means that we are rolling out 5 shades. Which is crazy. We're going to have a completely new color story almost. So let me just wipe this away, bring up my phone and everything, and we're going to generate 4 shades, and I will handpick 1 shade. Okay, I have my phone, my random app, and we have 3,228 eligible shade or shades. Not eligible because some have pan, but I haven't just written down what shade has pan. But I mean, we have quite a few shades to work from. So let's generate. We have the blue one, and let's generate the first shade. 430. Okay, 430 comes from my Focallure Perth palette, and it's the shade Passion Fruit. No idea what that one looks like. Then we have 2,776. Oh my god, 2,776 is from my Terra Cosmetics palette, the Cosmic Wanderer. So stoked. It's the shade Aurora. No idea what that one looks like. Let's go ahead and pick another one. 2,752, very close, very new. Oh, so 2,752 is my Blend Bunny Cosmetics Search palette in the shade Grunge. Sounds like a dark shade. Don't know what that one is. Let's pick the final shade randomly, and then yeah, 2,286. Also high numbers. Okay, 2,286 is my Pastel Roses Ghost Show palette. It's the shade Haunted. I'm scared that it's a matte black. I do have a specific rule that if I enroll a matte black, I only have to use it 10 times before rolling it out. I mean, it's a final shade, so it feels like the perfect corner to put a matte black, like in the last bottom corner. Don't know if it is. I'm going to bring these palettes out and swatch the shades, and then I will think about what shade I want to handpick for myself, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. This is my new color story, and it's very, I don't know, it's quite coherent, I think. I like it. So the first one we don't need to talk about, that's the Bora Blue palette shade. The next one was from my Focallure Perth palette, and this one looks like this. And I rolled the shade Passion Fruit in, which is like a purple. So this is what the palette looks like. I do have a pan in this one, and Passion Fruit is this purple. So I must admit, swatching it out, it did not have like super strong impact. But I think it will be like a nice wash of color, like iridescent wash of color. I think I can work it in quite a few looks. So that is the first shade. I have some use on it, but yeah, I don't think it will be difficult to hit pan though. What I know from panning that other shade. Then this super stunning green shade down here is from my Glaminatrix Cosmic Wonder palette. This is very new, have not gotten much use out of it at all. Been doing like one look, 2 looks. So this is what that shade palette looks like. Very dark, not very summery maybe. And Aurora is this shade down here. It's a super, super pretty green emerald shade. I am going to have a blast playing around with that one, playing around with the entire palette. Will be so much fun. Kind of reminds me of, actually now when I see it, of the Lucid Dreams palette. Like, are we surprised that I'm buying palettes with the same shades? Like, look how similar these are. It's fucking ridiculous, but I love them all. They are all my children, and I love them. Yeah. So we're switching out Lucid Dreams for this one, but it's gonna be fun. Fun times. Love the quality of Glaminatrix. Then we have this brown shade down there, and it's from the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Surge palette. This is what that one looks like. Super, super cool. And this is the content. I'm gonna love playing around with this one. Haven't gotten that much use out of it as I would have wanted, but now it's the perfect time. So I enrolled the shade Grunge, which is, as I thought, a dark shade. It's this dark brown, like a plum brown, basically. Yeah, don't have much to say. Never panned the Blend Bunny shade, so I don't know how much time it will take. Probably gonna reach 20 uses and not have pan, but it's gonna be fun trying to dip into all of the shades in this palette. Anyways, this is a great quality. The quality from this brand is great as well. Then, as I expected, Haunted from Ghost Show, Pastel Roses, is the black. This is what that palette looks like. I do have a video testing out this palette. It's a really, really cute one. So I'm super sad that I got the black shade. This is the color story. It's from their Halloween collection from last year. And Haunted is black. So I'm gonna have a usage goal of 10. Then I will see if I feel like dipping into a black shade a lot. I'm obviously going to do that, but yeah, it's not just that fun to pan a black matte shade. So I'm gonna have a usage goal of 10, but I'm going to try and reach for all of the shades in this palette. Anyways, it's a very cute little palette. Pastel Roses have great quality. Their shimmers are, I mean, kinda nice. Not gonna lie. So if you haven't tested them, they are a British indie brand. Highly recommend. So that is the shade Haunted. This shade down here, I was like, what do I do? Do I pick a gimme shade? And of course I did. I wanted to have something more warm tone because we have that shade. So I went for a palette that I wanted to play around with more because I haven't used it that much this year. And now is the perfect time, and that is my old Oden's Eye Älva 2 palette. This is like before they changed their pans, the looks of their pans and everything. And this is the only palette with pressed glitters. This is what that palette looks like. And the shade I chose is called Crystal, which is this one up here. It's just gonna be super easy to incorporate in all the looks. But I just want to use this pastel palette more. I'm trying to pull in all the pastels that I can now when I have the chance. So that is going to be my hand-picked shade to work on, to hit pan. And yeah, those are the shades. This is my color story. What do we think? I like it. It's not very summery, but it's okay. We can make it work. I hopefully have pan on Bora Blue next update. Hopefully I have maybe pan on this little fella here. Don't know about the other ones, what will happen, but maybe I will be able to reach 10 uses on the black shade. And that would also be fun. But yeah, I am fucking killing it on this project. Please applaud me in the comments for just being a total badass using all my eyeshadows. It's so fun. Yes. I love this project. I feel like you do too, because it always has a lot of views. I have a lot of eyeshadows, so it's all so fun. Yeah, now I'm just rambling, don't know where I'm going. So yeah, let me know if you like this project, if you're doing it yourself. And I hope to hear from you and see you in my next video. Bye guys!